Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, November the 27th, and we are here to look at new releases that have been published this week and this week only. And on Wednesdays, we look at romance. Every day of the week, we look at a different genre. On Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries. On Tuesdays, we look at mysteries and thrillers. Wednesdays, romance. Thursdays, fantasy and science fiction. And on Fridays is Freeform Friday, and we look at whatever I want to look at. And usually it's leftovers from earlier in the week, quite often cozy mysteries. Hope you are having a good day. For some people, they've already started the long weekend for the holiday. For me, this is my Friday for the week. I'm extremely happy. It's our only 4-day weekend of the year other than being near death. So, quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. We will have them tomorrow on Thanksgiving. And I'll be starting early. So it will be 2 hours earlier than usual. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it'll go for 4.5 hours. If you need a break from family, if you just want some me time, if you want some company, whatever it is you want to do, come hang out with us. Bring a friend. All right. Oh, romance. Love. And surprisingly, not hardly any Christmas ones. Maybe just one. All right, first up, Jewel of the Isle. This one had my eye from actually several weeks ago. So we'll see. Jewel of the Isle by Carrie Rea. If Emily Edwards knows one thing, it's that you don't go to a remote island by yourself Ever the type A personality, Emily doesn't want to hike around around an unfamiliar island, but she's determined to fulfill her late father's national park bucket list, starting with Isle Royale National Park, home to wolves, bears, and 100-year-old shipwrecks. I don't see how shipwrecks and wolves and bears are all in the same place, but that's just me. She has no choice but to hire a tour guide, and there is only one that isn't book solid, Ryder Fleet. Ryder, co-owner of Fleet Outdoor Adventures, wouldn't call himself a wilderness expert, and he definitely doesn't know how to find true north. But when his dormant adventure guide business suddenly finds life again after a random inquiry, Ryder somehow finds himself on a ferry to Isle Royale with a very beautiful, no-nonsense woman. What this woman doesn't know is that his brother Caleb, who died 2 years ago, was the outdoorsman of their business while Ryder just did the marketing. But how hard could it be to hike up a few mountains? Pretty difficult, actually, when murder is involved. Emily's perfectly planned trek turns disastrous when she and Ryder witness a brutal crime and are suddenly forced to evade a group of archaeologists on the hunt for a jewel. As they spend nights together too close for comfort, they realize their shoddily built fire isn't the only thing that's kindling, and that they must trust each other if they want to escape the island with their lives and hearts intact. This seems to be a trend. It's rom-com mystery, rom-mist. The book that I'm reading right now, one of the books I'm reading right now, is the same type. It's The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Allie Carter, and they're putting in an element of what we like in mystery books with romances. Good afternoon, Helen. How's it going over there? Everything is Love by Aubrey Prynne. Dakari Summers has returned home after 2 years of attempting to heal from an unexpected betrayal. With his new contract, new team, and reconnection with his college friends, he has made a vow to himself to never fall in love again. But life back home has different plans for him, and they are going to shake him to his core. Bailey Alexander has finally come out of hiding from the shambles left behind after making a grave mistake that shifted her view on life and love. As she attempts to rid herself of the baggage she carries, her sights are set on the perfect distraction, work. With her dreams under attack, she takes a leap of faith that lands her in a situation she isn't prepared for. Again, have you noticed that in pretty much all the books we read, work is a very big focus for people, yet not in real life? That has shifted. Lady Anna's Favor by Karen Tuft. It's tagged as a proper romance regency. London, England, 1814. Lady Anna Clifton has arrived in London with a secret purpose. Her soldier brother has been reported wounded and missing in France, and if he is dead, his title and their family's estate will go to a horrible distant cousin, and Lady Anna will be homeless. Desperate to find, see, she had a personal angle. Desperate to find her brother alive, Lady Anna blesses her good fortune when the Duke of Ailsham offers his yacht to carry her to France so she can look for her brother there herself. James Jennings wants nothing more than to enjoy a relaxing journey back to Paris on the Duke of Ailsham's yacht before rejoining England's diplomatic war efforts against Napoleon. However, the strikingly beautiful young woman already on board catches him off guard. When he receives only a cold reception from her, he dismisses her outright and blasts her disruption of his trip. How dare she! Until he learns the tragic reason she has set out on such a perilous journey. As infuriating as Lady Anna's brash behavior and indifference to him is, her search seems much too dangerous for her to undertake alone, so James reluctantly offers to assist her. The two embark on a search through France for Lady Anna's brother, all while trying to reconcile their differences. While there's a war going on, sounds like. With every step, they come closer to solving the mystery of Lady Anna's brother's disappearance, but every step also pushes their hearts closer together. Lord of Misrule by Elizabeth Rose, 8th in the Below the Salt series. She can't say no to the Lord of Misrule. Those are the rules. The Baker, when widow Kate Baker's young son is accused of stealing from a royal guard, her son is brought to the castle to receive his sentence. What Kate didn't expect is the handsome Lord Tolan Blake to include her in the punishment. Now, if she wants to keep her son out of the dungeon, she must work in the castle's kitchen until Twelfth Night. With Christmastide at her door, Kit has orders to fill her bakery and cannot leave her shop unattended. She also has a pregnant sister and her sister's jobless husband to support, as well as her own son. Let's just throw some more things on her. The Lord. Lord Tolan Blake has been put in charge of the castle during his father's absence. The only thing Tolan loves more than games and celebrating is winning. He has planned elaborate feasts as well as lots of games, drinking, dancing, and celebrating from Christmas until Twelfth Night. When a boy thief is brought before him, he must set the sentence. But when he sees the beautiful town baker who is the boy's mother, he decides he wants to know her. The only trouble is, once Tolan gets to know Kit, he doesn't want to let her leave. You know, who cares about freedom? Who will find the bean in their cake and become the Lord or Lady of Misrule this Christmas? He or she holds all the power to make anyone do what they want, anything except to make someone fall in love. Love has no bounds, but marriage has rules. A noble must never marry anyone from below the salt, and she very much is. End of row one. The Sound of Us by Sarah Castile. It's tagged as A Star is Born meets Good Girl Complex. For fans of Colleen Hoover. I don't know very many fans of Colleen Hoover. Sky Jordan thought she had it all figured out. 18 months ago, she was in college and dreaming of a basketball career. But in a split second, her world fell apart. Now she's back at Havencrest U, broke and desperate. She has no use for sexy bad boy musicians who kiss her senseless until she lands an internship at the radio station where he works. If you're broke and desperate, you don't go back to college. You get a freaking job. DJ Dante Romano has lost every person close to his heart. All he has is his music. Consumed by guilt and driven by vengeance, he has no time for love. Yet the fiery new intern who shares his passion and feels his pain tempts him like no other. For Dante, Sky is off limits, and yet from the moment he meets her, he can't turn away. Soon their scorching attraction develops into something deeper. Together they could make beautiful music, but will their untold secrets force them apart? The Grump Whisperer by Katie James, first in the Morning Song Farm series. For fans of Elsie Silver and Hannah Grace. Horse barn manager Bronwyn Jones is just about at her wits' end. The barn is under new ownership and things are going downhill fast. Now the situation is dire. Bills are unpaid, they're low on feed and hay, and the mountain of manure is the stuff of nightmares. So do something. Which is when he arrives. Former show jumper Ian Kingston is an absolutely gorgeous wreck of a man with a deep scowl. He had the career she always dreamed of until his most recent injury destroyed any hope of professional riding. Ian wants nothing to do with Bronwyn, the responsibilities for horses, or anything that reminds him of what he's lost. Only Bronwyn isn't about to let their resident Mr. Rochester off easy. Not when there are horses that need tending, and when a glorious but skittish stallion arrives, Bronwyn and Ian are forced to work together, even as attraction crackles between them. Both must face the pile of crap that's keeping them from moving forward, and the outcome may be the greatest ride of their lives. Oh my. Love Delayed by Anna Black. When Zamora Hill decided to follow her childhood dreams of being a chef, she didn't know that losing the love of her life would be the price she'd have to pay. Excited about going to culinary school, things took a crazy turn with her boyfriend Marcus, who doesn't support her decision and calls things off, leaving Zamora not only bewildered but also heartbroken. Defeated, she moves out and moves on. Good. Hotel and business owner Marcus Coleman is a family man and is very close to the ones he loves. Hospitality was all he knew, being a fourth-generation hotel owner, and he did all he could to please his parents. Accustomed to making sacrifices, Marcus was blindsided by the news that his college love, Zamora, would go away for 13 months to attend culinary school. Driven by ego, he ends their entire relationship before thinking it through. Hello? 10 years later, as fate would have it, Zamora and Marcus are both in Las Vegas, heading back to Chicago on the very same flight that gets delayed and eventually canceled. They have one night to catch up, and one night is all it takes for them to realize that they still harbor old feelings for each other. Honey, he's a narcissist. Stay away. Just saying. I'm including... Oh, this is a new one. Mary Jo Putney has a new one. Golden Lord. Dangerous Gifts, book number 2. Now there's a romance cover. England, 1803. The oldest foster child of the Earl and Countess Tremaine, Caden Tremaine, was one of several abandoned children rescued into the fold of the tribe of Tremaine, each bearing a special gift. Now that he has grown, Cade's superior investigative abilities and talents for preventing violence, or when necessary, executing it, are urgently required by the Home Office. For after an all too brief peace, Britain and France are about to be at war again. But it isn't the dangerous mission that concerns Cade, it's his secret love for his sweet, bright, spirited accomplice. Tamsin Tremaine has always felt a deep connection to Cade, who, like the same last name, whose very presence warms her heart. Yet, though they are not blood, note, their family relationship has led to her to suppress her love for him. Still, their mental bond is undeniable and only grows stronger along with their feelings when Cade is captured by the French. Tam knows that Cade will not be easily broken, yet only their meeting of minds can truly save him and hopefully free them to be together at last. But first she will have to navigate a treacherous maze of enemies and allies to find him. They will have to escape France and block a devastating plot against Britain. So if she's the one who's doing the rescuing, why is he on the cover? End of row 2. Just saying. Whoop. A Worthington Wedding by Ella Quinn. First in Here Come the Grooms. Looks like this is going to be a trilogy. Charlie, Earl of Stanwood, is at his gentleman's club when he overhears from a nearby card game that the Viscount Ogden plans to gamble away a property in which some of his family live. Charlie takes a dim view of those who mistreat their dependents, and though he rarely gambles, he always wins. He's just good that way. This time is no different. Triumphant, Charlie is determined to sign the property over to the appropriate family member. Miss Oriana Ogden comes from a family in which the men are incorrigible gamblers while the women mitigate the losses. Fortunately, she inherited her estate from a maternal aunt and is independent of her cousin, who repeatedly attempts to gamble it away. Needless to say, when the Earl of Stanwood comes to call, he promptly presented with proof of Oriana's home ownership and no offer of refreshment, even if he was the handsomest man she'd ever seen. Intrigued by headstrong Oriana, Charles sets out to discover more about her and concludes she may be exactly the wife he's looking for. Meanwhile, Oriana learns more about Charles, and her interest is piqued. But as saboteurs and rivals compromise their possible future together, they just might find themselves in an irresistibly compromising position of their own. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Where's Mary? We got a bunch of traditional romances for once. Michelle McLean has a new one. The Duchess Takes It All. Tamsin. Oh, we're getting close to a bingo here. Tamsin Palmer, the recently widowed Duchess of Clevesley, has almost anything a woman of common birth could want: wealth, title, estate, and even her adored toddler son. But it's not exactly easy. She's been ostracized by the Tome due to her decidedly unblue blood, and worse still, her dearly departed Duke has assigned a co-guardian of their son, the handsome, if unsufferable, Count of Rochburg, who seems more insistent on dictating the terms of Tamsin's duchy, but not if she has anything to say about it. Christian August has never been so vexed in his life. He's come to help raise the Duchess's son, and in return, she's doing everything she can to destroy his peace of mind, unleashing goats, as one does, secretly shortening the cuffs of his shirts, and damn the infernal woman, driving him to distraction with her flashing eyes and soft, kissable lips. It's enough to make a man forget his duty. With every argument, the longing grows stronger. With every diabolical prank, the temptation becomes greater, and they'll risk everything to win, even if it means surrendering to a passion that will destroy them both. Like spontaneous combustion? I have questions. Destined for You. I'm including this one because even though it's a novella of 95 pages, it's by Susan Mallory, who is a name, and it is new. This is called Destined for You. Did I mention that? I think I did. When widow Angela Shepherd arrived at Whitehorn, she is looking for a new beginning and a teaching position at the local elementary school. Instead, she was found by Deputy Sheriff Shane McBride, injured and unable to remember the attackers that put her in the hospital her very first week in town. Now Shane is bound by duty to protect, because it's his job, to protect Angela and uncover the truth. But while the clock is ticking to solve the crime, Shane must attempt to get to know this beautiful but enigmatic drinking game woman in an effort on lighting a spark in her memory. Shane swore to never open his heart for love, but Angela might very well be the key to solve a deep-rooted crime and bring happiness back to his life. Jennifer Fay has a new one. Puppy Wishes and Candy Kisses. Kringle Falls, book number 1. Candace, Candy Goodman, an unemployed teacher, is always sharing a smile and helping those around her. This Christmas, she has volunteered to drive 3 puppies to a shelter in Maine. However, when a road closer sends her on a detour, she gets lost in a snowstorm. Michael Bishop, a township road supervisor, has spent the past 2 years mourning the loss of his young family. As he's plowing snow late one evening, he notices something amiss. When he goes to investigate, he finds a woman and 3 puppies in a dire situation. The more time they spend together, the more he finds himself falling for her mistletoe kisses. But will it be enough for him to take a chance on love again? End of row 3. That sounds adorable. Rebellious, Portrait of a Woman, book number 3 by Carrie Lee Harmon. Harmony Jones, a no-nonsense tomboy, new age shop owner, those things don't really go together, I'm being judgy. I apologize. Who lives to be different, is lonely. She's on a quest to find her person. The problem is man will go near her. Does she need a man to find her own person? The secret enemy is spreading rumors, convincing the entire town she's a witch, casting spells on the menfolk because she's obsessed with sex. After a misunderstanding lands her in court, the judge sentences her to SAA. What is that? Oh, Sex Addicts Anonymous. Sorry. Harmony is determined to find the person responsible for trying to ruin her life while she completes the 12-step program. She has always been rebellious, but she is having a hard time controlling the situation, so she plays along to prove to everyone she doesn't have a problem. Easier said than done when her therapist is a man like Brian Storm. All pheromones and too hot for words. When he takes on the role of being her sponsor in case she needs help, Harmony suddenly finds herself in all sorts of trouble, with help just a phone call away. Will she stay in control, or will she finally learn to let go? Hello, red flags here all over the freaking place. A supposed sex addict's mentor, and they're going to be physically attracted and have sexual relations. Holy moly. All kinds of wrong there. It's like being a mentor for an alcoholic and let's go for a drink at a bar for an evening. Sinner's Salvation by Julie Rowe, third in the Sinners Never Die series. Oh, it's a vampire. 800-year-old vampire matriarch Anna Bresnik is in trouble. Worse, she's dragged a normal human into trouble with her. Brian Stetler is her nephew's assistant, an FBI agent, and he reminds her of her own children when they were young. There's some very strange, etc. But it looks like he's no ordinary U.S. Army military intelligence officer. He's an expert interrogator. Blah blah blah. We'll end on that one. And because that was the last one, and we're out of time. All right. Well, we will have our morning show both Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow will be fantasy and science fiction. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do my Wednesday night, but we will have them tomorrow for an extra long session. We'll be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time and go for 4.5 hours instead of the regular 2.5 hours. All right. Hope you have a very good Wednesday. If I don't see you, please have a very good Thanksgiving. Be safe, be happy, be thankful. Be thankful for books, if anything. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day and God bless.